Hi everybody, so today we have a 2017 Toyota RAV4 that is not starting because the battery needs replacement. So first I will show you guys what the car sounds like when we turn the key, and then we'll go ahead and replace the battery. Alright, so I'm in the car. Let's go ahead and put the key in, and let's turn the key, and you can just see that it tries to start but then nothing happens. Not sure if you guys can hear that. Try again. Alright, so I started doing this last night, and last night I jump started the car and it started and worked fine. So I figured that it is a battery that needs a replacement. So today I went ahead and got a replacement battery. So let's go ahead and put the new battery in. So first of all, let's go ahead and open the hood from down here. You just pull that. The battery of the 2017 Toyota RAV4 and also many other cars is right over here towards the right hand side when you are facing the car. So while changing the battery, the screws that you will need to unscrew is, first of all, you will need to unscrew the clamp, which is right here. So that's pretty much just supporting the battery. So you have one screw here and you got one over here, and then the screw for the positive terminal is right over here. So you will screw this for the positive one, and then this screw over here for the negative one. So this is the order that in which we're going to go in. So let's go ahead and do that. So when you remove this clamp over here and when you remove this screw is actually holding a thin metallic rod. I'm not sure if you can see this, but there it is. It's going down. So once you take this screw out and you pull the clamp up, it's going to free up that metallic rod, and most likely that metallic rod might fall down somewhere in there. So just keep a note of that, because you are going to need that to hook the clamp back up. So let's go ahead and start the unscrewing. So I have a 10mm socket here to open both of these screws. If the 10 is too tight or too loose, try a 9mm or an 11mm. So let's go ahead and unscrew this. So this is the first time that we're actually changing the battery for this car since the time we bought it, and you can kind of see here that the screw is a little bit corroded and it is a little bit tight. Alright, so it's pretty much free. Let's go ahead and also loosen the other one. I'll try it from here. Alright, this screw is loose. That is also loose. So at the same time, I'm also going to loosen the positive terminal as well using the same 10mm wrench socket that I have. Seems to be pretty loose already. So the challenge is going to be to try to expand this little space here so that this piece can come out. And let's also go ahead and unscrew this. This one was a little bit tighter. Alright, so I'm going to remove this screw here, and then let's go ahead and remove this screw. So that's going to free up the clamp, and you can see here that it's actually all connected to the positive terminal. So the next step would be to remove the positive terminal, and I'm not sure if this is just going to come out. I think I am going to have to free this up a little bit. You can see it is kind of moving a little bit, but it's just not loose enough. Let's unscrew the screw a little bit more. Alright, so you might need like a little flat screwdriver and stick it right in here to create a little bit of a gap, so I'm going to try to do that. It's hard for me to record this step. I'm actually using two hands. I'm putting one screwdriver here, flathead, and I'm using another one. Trying to use both. Not sure how you could not sure if you can see that. Alright, so using the flathead screwdrivers, I was able to create a good enough gap here that now it is easily able to come out. There you go. So that's the positive terminal. You can see here. And then we are going to do the same thing for the negative one. Keep in mind, the screws of the terminals, you do not have to take them all the way out. You just need to loosen them enough to make sure that this terminal comes out. And then that one actually would come off pretty easily. So that is pretty much it. We're gonna pull this battery out. It should be loose now. And I'm going to use both hands, and you can see here it's moving. I'm going to use both hands and pull this battery out. So guys, I just pulled the battery out. So pretty much it was just sitting on this plate right over here, not really screwed to anything from the bottom. So the only screws that we did need to unscrew were the 4 screws. Here is the old battery, and it's actually in a sleeve. So I'm going to take it out of this sleeve as well. Remember your positives and your negatives. And here I have the new battery that we will be putting in. So the red one is the positive, that's the negative, the black one. And I got this from Costco for about $110. So I'm going to set this up and I'm going to place it back into the sleeve, and I'm going to drop it back into the car, and then we'll screw it back up. Alright guys, so I have removed the sleeve from the old battery and placed it into the new one. One of the points I want to make real quick is that on the old battery, you want to take a note of the grip number. So the grip number for the old one is 35, and you want to make sure that the new one that you get has the same grip number. And as you can see here, this is the 35. So let's go ahead and put the new battery in there. I thought that this handle would come off, but I really couldn't figure out a way to remove the handle. So I'm gonna go ahead and just install it with the handle on. I figured it's pretty actually helpful, you know, in case we do need to take the battery out in the future. It would be easy to pull out. Carefully place the new battery where the old battery was into the same place. And now we are going to start with screwing the terminals. And as a rule of thumb, you want to attach the positive terminal first. So as you can see here, we have the positive sign, and on the car, this is the positive sign. So let's go ahead and add that in there the same way the old one was. Here we go. And let's go ahead and tighten this up. Alright, it's tight, and let's go ahead and do the negative terminal. If I can find it. There it is. Just hiding there. Alright, so the negative terminal is simply going to go on right over here. Push it in, and then let's go ahead and tighten this up as well. All right, seems to be pretty sturdy. Before I put the clamp screws back on, I'm going to try and start the car and see if the new battery has solved my problem. And if the car does successfully start, then I am going to put the clamps back on and call it a day. So let's go ahead and try to start the car. Put the key right here. And let's try to start it. Alright, the car has successfully started, guys. So it was because of the bad battery that the car was not starting. Everything seemed to have powered on as it should. And I am going to let the car run for a while I put the screws for the clamps back on. So we have 2 screws for this. So this one that's gonna go in here, and the other one, you might remember I had mentioned that there is a metallic rod that's here, and it did fall down there, and you can see it's right over here. There's actually a hole right in line with this hole where this end goes into. So I'm gonna go and see if I can find the hole. Alright, I see it. It's right over there. And the other end is gonna be right over here. And actually it came back out from the other end, so let me put that back in there. There we go. So now it's in there. And let's put this screw back on as well. And we are almost done. All right. It was pretty tight. Let's also tighten this one. All right. That's pretty tight as well. Just making sure that it's tightly secured. Alright, so all the screws are tightened. Let's put the positive cover back on. So guys, we have the new battery installed into the car, and the car is starting as it should. So that pretty much wraps up the process on how to replace a battery for the 2017 Toyota RAV4. It's pretty simple. I believe anybody can do it. Thanks so much for watching this video. Take care.